Coming up on this edition of MHS Rewind, we'll take a look at how I-69 construction will have an impact on MHS and MHS drivers. And we'll see how the decathlon team captured yet another state title.
And in sports, we'll have stories on the new baseball and softball head coaches. Good morning, MHS. I'm Riley Dalton.
And I'm Carson Hacker. We'll have all those stories and more coming up on this edition of MHS Rewind.
Work started last week on Section 6 of the I-69 project through Martinsville. And as Presley Boyd tells us, the construction is going to have a big impact on MHS.
I-69 construction has finally reached MHS, and it is going to cause some changes for parking and student drivers. Construction crews will be building an overpass from South Street over to 37 to Walmart. They'll be using the band lot for storing supplies, so the band lot has to be moved to the main lot so the marching band still has a place to practice.
It'll be our first probably 4 rows of parking, if not more, if not 6 rows. And then, so we have to barricade some of that space off, or most of that space off, so that cars that cut through our parking lot don't create a safety hazard for our students in the marching band.
York Street will be closed down. It will be barricaded off to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, so for any walkers, it will be safest to take Gray Street to school.
This creates an interesting effect, backlash or side effect on what happens to traffic that coming around from Illinois and want to cut through York and be the cut through of our town. So even the main front row here will still be available for student drop-off only and the bus traffic. But any other vehicles that try to use Illinois on around to York as the cut through when it's closed, we will be creating a 2-way temporary road on the very back of our parking lot.
There are not any major changes for students who ride the bus. Drivers will also still be able to enter and exit the jock lot and the main lot from Gray Street. For the students that come around Illinois Street to get to the school, you'll still be able to do that, but you'll have to take the temporary 2-way road at the back of the parking lot. There will be 2 additional openings in the 2-way road to get directly into the main parking lot.
We're going to not recommend that you come around Illinois anymore. The best way to come in will be Gray Street.
Another impact that I-69 will have on MHS is how parking will work for big events, such as graduation.
A great question that I don't know that we know the answer to yet. It's been suggested that we might have an off-site parking and run a shuttle, which would be great because even when it was not interrupted by construction, people were parking down by the greenhouse with no ride. So the shuttle idea might be a really good idea.
Construction will take over MHS anywhere from 11 to 18 months. For MHS Rewind, I'm Presley Boyd.
The RTV1 and RTV2 classes took a trip up to the University of Indianapolis for their annual spring competition and finished their day with 8 awards.
Welcome to the 16th annual IASB High School Spring Broadcasting Conference and Awards.
The Rewind students had the opportunity to visit multiple workshops during the day to learn more about the radio, TV, and film industries.
I hope that they come away with a passion to learn everything that they can about this industry. I think that's key. I think that's number one, is to learn everything that they possibly can about their career choice and what they want to do in this industry.
Chris Geisen is the brand manager for the Bob and Tom Show and talked to the students about how he got his career started in radio. Kent Sterling is the host of the Kent Sterling Show and came to talk to the students about how you have to be up for anything and ready to take any opportunity when it's given to you.
What I took away is mostly about not what you know, but who you know. So it kind of just taught me in life that I should just take opportunities and do stuff. So it didn't just help me for Rewind, it helped me for future.
After the workshops, the Rewind students returned to the auditorium for the award ceremony. The RTV2 class sent in multiple entries and won 8 awards.
I submitted a news package over the football team, which was about SQA, which is super quick artesians. And it was really neat because it brought back like an old saying that we used to use back in like the 80s. And I just thought it was cool to inform people like what it meant, because a lot of people in our community didn't know.
Riley Dalton finished 3rd in news package. And Sierra Bauman placed 2nd in news package and photojournalism.
I never really win anything, like ever, so hearing my name called and getting to walk across the stage just by myself, it was just such a cool feeling.
Olivia Osler earned 2nd in copywriting. Presley Boyd finished 3rd in photojournalism. And the RTV2 class placed 2nd in newscast, 3rd in video magazine, and 3rd in short film. The 2019 IASB Spring Competition is over, but the Rewind students are not finished planning, producing, and editing projects. For MHS Rewind, I'm Carson Hacker.
The academic decathlon team traveled to Purdue for their state competition on February 8th and 9th and brought back another state title and a new school record. Olivia Osler traveled with them to take an inside look on what it takes to win at state.
The academic decathlon team traveled up to Purdue on February 8th and 9th for their state finals. The team studied and prepared for months before the competition with one goal in mind, making it to the Nationals in Minnesota.
Very nervous, but ready to destroy a competition.
The team had speech and interview on Friday and took 9 30-minute tests on Saturday. The process was a long and hard one, but the team went in prepared.
The tests so far haven't been too bad. The speech and interview were okay. Overall, I'm pretty excited to continue the competition, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
Martinsville took home a school record with a score of 45,229 out of 60,000. Along with that, Devin Heath was one of 6 chosen to give their speech to the crowd before awards.
He just wanted to say howdy one last time to make us all smile.
The decathlon team wins state almost every year. In fact, they've won 20 times in 22 years, and the rest of the coaches around the state know that Martinsville is their biggest competition.
Well, the Martinsville team, they are spectacular.
Martinsville is the best program in the state of Indiana.
Even after their great success, the team is still in the classroom every day working hard to prepare for nationals. The team says that the friendships shared make being a part of a high-stress sport worth it. The team will be heading to nationals at the end of April. For MHS Rewind, I'm Olivia Osler.
The robotics team hosted a competition here at MHS 2 weeks ago. Gunnar Andrew has the story how you can get involved with the team.
Hands-on learning, programming, and battling are some of the things you can look forward to in robotics.
Well, if you like to do hands-on things and thinking and learning new things, it's a combination of building and programming and also just having fun with team members and things like that.
2 weeks ago, the robotics team hosted a competition in the MHS Cafe. Over 30 teams from 6 different schools battled each other in a variety of different competitions.
Because it's always a team effort. We have lots of people do different things on the team in order to do it. Somebody might be a driver, somebody might be a programmer, somebody might be a builder, somebody might be doing all those things. And so there's a wide variety of things that the students can do in the robotics organization.
Bill Heacock teaches a robotics class here at Martinsville High School, and he is the team's head coach. For the past 10 years now, he has been using robotics to not only teach students about coding, but also to teach them about teamwork and how to design their way out of problems.
I always found it to be rewarding, learned a lot of life lessons.
If you don't know something before you join in, you'll learn it fairly quickly. And all the teams that we have are very, very open to having more people because there's nothing wrong with that.
Robotics is a year-round team starting in September and wrapping up around mid-May. They meet Tuesdays and Thursdays after school and also during RD hour.
If you'd like to learn more about robotics, go see Mr. Heacock in room 303. For MHS Rewind, I'm Gunnar Andrew.
MHS has several students who will be spending their summer in Europe as part of the IU Honors Program. Style Meckling has more.
7 MHS students will be traveling to France and Spain this summer.
I'm just excited to put myself in a new situation, prepare myself for college a little bit.
I'm most excited for seeing the architecture and spending a lot of time with my host family and friends that I meet there.
Sofia Finney is one of 2 Spanish students traveling to Spain, and Mason Littell is one of 5 French students traveling to France through the IU Honors Program.
I've been studying French for 3 years, and my life's been kind of boring so far, so I want to put myself out there.
The students will leave in June and spend 7 weeks living with the host family. They will only be able to speak French or Spanish and will have to learn to adapt to the new culture in a short amount of time.
I hope that they have wonderful experiences with their host families and make friends that they're going to keep forever in a different country, and then that will keep them connected to the language.
Mrs. Martin also took this trip as a foreign language student in hopes that the program will inspire them like it did her.
It helped me become more of a risk taker. It helped me become less shy. So I think it taught me a lot of life lessons.
French teacher Lynette Leberge hopes her students improve their French skills and learn more about the culture.
I hope that on one level they just get bitten by the travel bug and that they will want to travel more and more.
Both foreign language teachers say that the program transforms both their language skills and confidence, which is the reason why Mrs. Martin recommends it to any foreign language student that has hopes of traveling the world.
You've got to be enthusiastic, you've got to be a risk taker, you've got to have a love for travel and a love for people and socializing, and as long as you have that, then the learning of the language will come.
For MHS Rewind, I'm Style Meckling.
The MHS Vocal Jazz Ensemble Improv was one of only 8 groups in the state invited to perform at the ISMA State Vocal Jazz Festival. This was the 2nd straight year they've been invited, and the group once again received an award for Outstanding Soprano Section.
The winter percussion group qualified for state and Class A competition. Our TV1 student Hannah Johnson takes a closer look at this year's show.
If you know some jams from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, this year's drumline team is taking them to the next level with an award-winning performance.
The fact that our songs are actually well known, so if anyone in the student body actually sees us, they're going to kind of know what's going on, which is new.
The drumline show this year is called Another Dime in the Jukebox, and it features popular songs like Johnny Be Good, House of the Rising Sun, Eruption, and Mr. Blue Sky. The show also incorporates a lot of movement and a unique beginning dance.
Everybody's connecting really well, and it's a really good vibe in there, so I think everybody's gonna do great.
Martinsville's drumline recently finished 3rd at New Palestine and 1st at Franklin. Their routine this year is different from usual drumline routines, so it benefits them at competition. And after competing, they change up some movements and practice to improve the routine even more.
I'm looking forward to starting competitions and really getting to show what we've been working on for so long and putting so much hard work into and really putting it out there.
The team got 17th place at semifinals and will compete in state finals next weekend. For MHS Rewind, I'm Hannah Johnson.
The Winter Guard was also in competition this past weekend. Our TV1 student, Emily Olson, has a closer look at their show.
There's a saying in Color Guard, your show is approximately 4 minutes of your life, so make every second count. That's exactly what Martinsville High School's varsity Winter Guard is doing this season.
My personal goals is just to make my last season memorable.
So this is the best of the best that we have for our program.
This year's show is called Nomad, and it has a new concept about the hard paths faced by nomadic tribes trying to find a new home.
We're nomads traveling from one destination to the next, and it's about like our struggle in new territories and establishing a leader and all of that.
This concept of moving from place to place hits home for the students on the team. The Guard must travel for rehearsal because the gym is normally being used by basketball, baseball, and many other sports and clubs throughout the school.
I want to have to stop moving around so much and have like a more dedicated practice space. So that way we don't have to load the tarp every night and all of our props and whatever, and then move it to a completely different church or gym on the next day.
All the moving hasn't seemed to affect the Guard's performance this season. They earned 7th place at their final competition in Ohio and will be having their fall season auditions in May. For MHS Rewind, I'm Emily Olson.
The spring sports seasons are underway at MHS. Let's send it over to Sierra Bowen for a look at Artesian athletics.
Thanks, guys. The MHS boys soccer team will have a new head coach next year. Tulani Insube will take over for longtime coach Daniel Urban, who stepped down at the end of last season. Insube has spent the last 10 years coaching various age groups at the South Central Soccer Academy and MC United. Prior to coaching travel soccer, Nsube played professionally in New England and Greece. He also served as the team captain for the Zimbabwe national team. There's also a new coach in town for baseball, and he's ready to take the team to 20-plus wins. Brianna Waltz has a story.
Jeremy Honecker has traveled a long distance to coach the boys here at MHS in baseball. Honecker coached at Zionsville High School and with the Indiana Bulls for the past 7 years before making his way down to Martinsville this year.
I can't really explain it other than it feels right.
Coach Honecker grew up playing baseball in Connersville, Indiana, which is very similar to Martinsville.
I knew the talent that was here, and I knew the struggles that they had the last couple of years, and I felt like it was a perfect opportunity for my skill set.
The boys can all agree he's already made a difference in practice.
I think the environment's changed a lot. It's not as uptight as it was. It's a lot more laid back and loose, and we can all just go out and have fun and not worry about anything besides doing our job and winning.
I think the Coach Honecker brings a really positive vibe, which we haven't had in the past, so I'm excited.
It's just, they're my kind of kids, you know, country boy kind of mentalities, and that's kind of how I grew up too. So it feels like I got a bunch of brothers already. I haven't been here that long and it already feels that way. They're hard workers. They listen well so far. They seem to be buying into some of the philosophies that I don't think they're comfortable with or heard of much before.
20-plus wins. That's definitely what our expectations are, and hopefully we're going to make the state and play really well.
The boys start their journey to 20-plus wins on Thursday, March 28th. For MHS Rewind, I'm Brianna Waltz.
The softball team is also one of many with a new coach at MHS this year.
It would have been easier for Nick Carver to stay at Owen Valley. He'd been their head coach for several years, and his daughter Lexi is a senior there and has verbally committed to play softball at Louisville. But the chance to coach and compete at a bigger school was too good to pass up.
In my opinion, it's the toughest sectional in the state of Indiana, which is very appealing to me, the competitive aspect of it. I actually passed the first opportunity when they opened the job the first time, and then they opened it back up a second time, and we talked a lot about it as a family and decided that it was too good of an opportunity to pass up.
Carver won't have his daughter with him at MHS since she decided to stay at Owen Valley for her senior year, but he'll still have plenty of talent. Junior Paige Dorsett has verbally committed to Ball State and previously had Carver as a coach on a travel team. She was excited when she found out he was coming to coach at Martinsville.
I know that he's going to push us to be the best that we can be, and he's going to help us win and go far and achieve our long-term goal.
And that long-term goal is to win a state title.
We talk a lot about winning every pitch of every game. We want to win every pitch, every inning, and every game. But it starts with the fundamentals and the process of that rather than the big goals. We focus on the small goals to reach those big goals.
The girls have already noticed his focus on fundamentals and the process during practice.
And he's more of like a coach where like you know every position. So like you're not just doing the position you play, like if you're an outfield, you're gonna do infield. If you're an infield, you're gonna do outfield.
He's very intense and he's very demanding. He's just trying to pound into our head, competition, competition. He's not gonna let you get by with anything, and he's gonna expect a lot out of you. But as long as you do what you say, then it's gonna be fun. He makes it fun, and winning is fun. So.
You can catch Carver and the Lady Artesians in their next home game against Mooresville the first Tuesday back from break at 5:30.
Tough schedule, tough conference, tough sectional, but with the attitudes we have and if we continue process focused, I think we can be very successful.
Girls tennis season officially started last week, and as Emmy Carroll tells us, the girls have been working through their obstacles.
The girls' tennis team has 6 fresh faces hitting the courts this season, which can always bring challenges. But as Coach Brannigan Hewitt says, they are already impressing her.
They're already working really hard. Every single one of them came to preseason conditioning and training, so they've shown that they're really dedicated already.
The 10 returning girls are also stepping up to lead the new players.
This year I've kind of stayed after with a couple of our new girls, like after school, after practice. We're all just trying to help them work on their serves, returns.
Both coach and girls really want to focus on coming together as a team this season.
It's so easy because tennis, you play for yourself, you think of a lot of times, but it's so easy to kind of get out of that team mentality.
I definitely think we should work on like team bonding because last year we had conflicts. So I think we just need to work on like working together as a team more and just like building each other up.
Individually, team captain Ali Viwe says that she wants to focus on winning as many matches as possible.
I had a pretty good record last year, so I want to see if I can improve on that.
Along with working hard on the court, the girls have also been raising money. On Thursday, the team held the first annual Artesian Tennis Serve-a-thon. Businesses and individuals sponsored a player by paying a rate for each serve they make in 10 minutes. The money will go towards the player's expenses, like shirts. Anything left over will go towards the courts and equipment.
We only have 6 courts, and courts get cracks in them, so our fundraiser helps going to keep our courts in nice shape, and we need new balls every season because they get ruined by rain, and just being cold makes them deflate a little bit.
Although the serve-a-thon is over, you can still help by donating to the team until March 27th. Just talk to any player or email Coach Hewitt. The girls' first match will be at home on Tuesday, April 9th. For MHS Rewind, I'm Emmy Carroll.
The cold winter temperatures are still lingering, so the girls and boys track teams are preparing for their upcoming season in the John R. Wooden Gymnasium. Riley Dalton has more.
Ready, go!
The girls and boys track teams aren't letting the spring weather hold them back. They have been busy training indoors and outdoors in order to attain their high expectations for the season.
We've been going at it hard. We've been outside, I think, now 3 days out of 10, which usually we're lucky to get out 1 day. In February, we've been out 3 days. So that's kind of nice for the throwers to get outside and the runners to get on the track, and we use the turf a lot, so it does help.
We have had about 2 weeks of practice already. There's a lot of pretty good freshmen and sophomores out there. I think we'll have a pretty good season.
Girls head coach Jay Seib says he has a promising group of freshmen to go along with 8 seniors. Haley Moore is back in hurdles, and Caitlin Bowles is hoping for a return trip to regionals in the 200. The girls and boys also have high expectations for their 4x1 teams.
I would really like to possibly go to state with our 4x1 team. I think we've got some fast girls this year, and we've been really close.
Yeah, we have some faster sophomores and juniors, so we should be able to make state in that too.
We've got some returning guys who went to state last year, J.D. Gorham, a senior, and Zach Hamilton, a senior. They should be able to get a 4x1 team back to state this year. Billy Bias is back. Billy's a junior, was on that 4x1 team to state last year. Kai Hatton returns as a strong thrower, should be somebody who medals this year at state in the shot put. Jackson Kleeser is another thrower who should do very well this year. And there's some young guys that are going to step up. Got some freshmen that are shining. We've got some promising things.
The boys and girls will reopen their season April 4th at Edgewood. For MHS Rewind, I'm Riley Dalton.
That wraps it up for a look at sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sierra. And finally today, some MHS students are getting their chance to show off their skills on the court during 3-on-3 intramural basketball. Olivia Osler takes a closer look.
If you pop into the gym on Wednesday or Friday during Arty Hour, you will see some people from all around the school coming together to compete and have some fun playing 3-on-3 basketball.
It's just something fun to do during Arty Hour. You know, we're testing now during school, and I like basketball, so it's just fun to do.
It seemed to me like it'd be a lot of fun just to play basketball again.
Ralston Evans is the leader of the Intermurals and is there every Wednesday and Friday directing the program and watching the teams compete.
Teams keep track of their own stats, keep track of their own scores, and pretty much keep track of their own fouls. They kind of police themselves, and then if any questions come up, they just come ask me.
The teams are allowed 2 subs and they get a 10-minute running clock, which forces the teams to play good defense and take good shots. Last year there were 3 teams, but the turnout grew to 16 teams this year. Each team plays 16 games, and the top 8 teams will advance to the playoffs, which is a seeded single elimination tournament.
Just seeing all of them have so much fun is always the fun part, and then watching some of the kids get into it, and then some of the kids who don't really get the opportunity to play some of our varsity sports that we got to offer, just gives them a chance to compete with their friends.
The tournament for Intermurals will be at the beginning of May. For MHS Rewind, I'm Olivia Osler.
That wraps it up for this edition of MHS Rewind. For Sierra Bauman, Riley Dalton, and the rest of the RTV2 class, I'm Carson Hacker. Thanks for watching and have a great spring break.